can be broken, but you can be fixed, but you gotta talk.
The death of a teenage girl has changed this Utah family forever.
I think people need to openly talk about it.
Why they're opening up after such a devastating loss.
After a break this afternoon, more storms are on the way. What you can expect for rain or snow at your house.
An Ogden neighborhood is dealing with severe water pressure problems.
And that's really not loose.
Coming up, how they hope the city will step in before more pipes burst.
Paying millions of dollars for a service they don't have. Why one South Valley city wants bus and train stops.
We can really see the improvement that it has in their lives and are able to give them something to learn.
And how Utah teens are using music training to help people heal, thanks to the efforts of two sisters. Coming up.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, a Layton family is grieving the sudden loss of their 15-year-old daughter who died by suicide last week.
Fox 13 News anchor Brian Schneed joins us live in studio tonight after speaking with the girl's family, who wants to share a message with other parents out there. Brian.
Well, Bob and Kelly, tonight, Lee and Robert Mancini are exactly 1 week removed from the worst day of their lives, the day they lost their firstborn to suicide. Despite this, they opened up about the importance of having tough conversations and prioritizing communication with your children.
She's talented, she's beautiful.
Each life is unique.
She loved guitar, she loved drawing, she was a great sketch artist.
Each life is precious.
So last Tuesday was by far the worst day of our lives.
And lives can change with a phone call.
And then we got the call from our Kylan that she did it, and we came rushing home.
15-year-old Aislinn Mancini died by suicide last Tuesday.
You just think it's never going to be us. We're not that family. We're not going to have those issues, but it was us.
Despite the pain, grief, and overwhelming support, Aislinn's parents, Lee and Robert Mancini, don't want to shy away from the topic.
I think the word suicide still scares a lot of people, and I think it needs to be addressed. I think people need to openly talk about it.
In this case, talking about their firstborn.
She was an awesome kid. Troubled, yeah, but still an awesome young lady, and she's going to be missed dearly.
The Mancinis say that Aislinn had been going through some tough times, but wouldn't open up and speak about it. They say the day she took her life, she'd been having a rough day at school.
We're trying to get out word that you can be broken, but you can be fixed, but you got to talk.
In a world where it's hard to get away, they feel that social media played an unfortunate role.
As soon as you hold that phone, people can still reach out to you and say not nice things to you, bully you, whatever might be causing you that problem.
Now trying to process what happened and move forward, instead of shutting down, the Mancinis are opening up.
Don't let your kids go to bed mad if you know they're angry. Try whatever you can do to get that information out of them, because choices they make that evening might not be the right choices, and if you can't get them to talk to you, you're just going to regret and feel terrible about it.
They want parents out there.
When you look back at that table, what do you see?
Just a beautiful smile.
To talk to their children.
Youth.
And encourage that open dialogue.
Support.
Before it's too late.
Baby girl. It's really sad. Yeah, it's just sad. We're heartbroken.
Well, it's not often that families want to speak openly about suicide, but in talking with the Mancinis today, they want to see change. They want to prevent this from happening to other families. They want parents to know what can happen if those conversations aren't had. I spoke with the director of Student and Family Resources at the Davis School District about the importance of having those conversations.
If we're not talking about it, then it doesn't go away, right? We need to have conversations about hard things. We need to be able to address what we're all seeing and dealing with on a daily basis. The more we talk about it, the more we talk about the importance of it and getting resources in front of our students and awareness to our families and parents, we feel like we can make a difference.
Well, teen suicide is a real issue here in Utah. There are also a number of resources available, not to just students, but parents and entire families. To learn more about them in your area, you can always check with your local school district. Live in studio tonight, I'm Brian Schnee. Bob and Kelly, back to you.
Brian, thank you so much. Such a sad, sad story, but so important to share.
Heartbreaking. Fox 13 News did catch up with a child and family psychologist tonight, Dr. Douglas Goldsmith. He was unable to talk on camera. However, he stressed the importance of parents staying on top of their children's usage of social media, saying, quote, parents need to review social media and texting every day with their kids and inform them that if they don't want their parents seeing their texts, they should not be sending the texts.
If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is now an easy-to-remember 3-digit number. Just dial 988 any time of day or night for free support.
New tonight, 3 people had to be rescued by first responders after their vehicle rolled off a snowy road in Wasatch County. This happened on Snake Creek Canyon Road above Midway this afternoon. Wasatch Fire and Wasatch County Search and Rescue had to be sent out after 911 was called. Take a look here. Authorities say the new snow on the road made traveling treacherous. The driver and 2 passengers required medical assistance and were transported off the mountain.
It just underscores how careful we need to be out there now that the cold temperatures are here and we're getting snow and rain.
And ice.
That's right.
And there's more on the way for tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, many of you have a dry commute. There is a chance for a few rain showers early in the day with mostly cloudy sky tomorrow morning early in the day. But by midday, mid-afternoon, and then into the evening, we'll have some slick roads. We're going to end up with some more snow and potentially some areas of fog into Thursday morning as our next system approaches. So Wednesday night at 11 p.m. we see this area of low pressure right over northern Utah. On the back side of that into Thursday, we could see some lingering snow early in the day, and then that will quickly move out. So hour by hour, Wednesday morning, 30s and 40s here across the state. Into tomorrow throughout the day, temperatures will rise to about 45 to 50 for many of you. St. George, you have a pleasant week ahead with temperatures in the 60s for many of the next several days, but it will also become a little bit windy out there. So tomorrow, temperatures close to 50 degrees starting at 11, 12 a.m. tomorrow. 12 noon, 12 p.m. We'll have that chance for maybe even some thunderstorms, and then come tomorrow night, tracking the possibility of some lake effect snow. I'll let you know where that could set up coming up.
Thanks, Allison. An Ogden neighborhood has been dealing with severe water pressure problems for a month and a half now.
It's more than just complaining about a weak shower. They've noticed discoloration, pipes rattling for hours, and even flooding in one basement.
Sounds like a big problem. Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser spoke to homeowners who hope the city can step in soon.
Picture this. It's 4 a.m., you're sound asleep, and then you hear...
What the heck is that? I ran to the front door with my pistol, going because it sounds like somebody's trying to break in your house.
It's not a break-in, it's pipes.
My daughter lives with us. She's a school teacher. She needs her sleep. I got a grandson. He needs his sleep. You hear that?
At first, Greg Davis thought it was an issue with his own home until he talked to Les Townsend, and the two discovered it's the whole block.
Come to find out, 85–90% of the people, their pipes were shaking.
The neighbors say it's been happening for a month and a half now. Townsend's been recording it. And Davis's wife has been logging it. It only happens between 4 and 7 a.m.
There was a Wednesday on the 19th. This is the day the neighbor's pipes blew out. It relieved the pressure for the entire neighborhood.
So this is a pipe that broke in my house. My whole entire wall, all the way down to my basement, was flooded.
Both men have reached out to the city and say engineers have acknowledged the problem, but nothing's been fixed yet.
It's just a matter of time. You know, are they going to be able to get to it before my pipes blow, or what?
If there's damages that happen since we've been calling the city, somebody needs to be responsible.
Davis said he gave the city a copy of his wife's recordings, and I've also reached out multiple times and have yet to hear back. Reporting in Ogden, Emily Tensar, Fox 13 News, Utah.
If we don't get in front of this, then I think our quality of life is just going to diminish.
A leader in one Utah city says they're paying millions of dollars for a service they don't have. Why there is no public transportation in Riverton, and what residents want done about it.
We've come a long ways, guys, but we still have a long ways to go.
Plus, there are growing concerns about the quality of medical cannabis here in Utah. What the public and cannabis advocates are saying tonight.
These teenagers are amazing, and they're the ones that work the magic.
And they're sharing the impact of music in the lives of local children. We'll introduce you to the people behind this important program that's changing lives.
Utah football looking to stay in the win column against Washington State on Thursday.
The Utah Transit Authority is laying out its vision for the future, sharing its 5-year service plan with the public, and inviting Utahns to take a transit needs survey.
Fox 13 News reporter Jenna Bree shows us why one South Valley City is begging UTA to bring buses and trains to residents.
Riverton residents can't help but notice how much things have changed.
Grown so much in the last 25 years, for sure. Not even the same place as we moved to 25 years ago.
There's one thing that hasn't changed. The city still doesn't have any UTA bus stops or rail stations.
South Jordan, Riverton, Harriman, Bluffdale are the same population as Salt Lake City, and when you consider persons per square mile, we actually have more people per square mile here than Salt Lake City.
Riverton Mayor Trent Staggs says the city only has the microtransit service VIA, which gets limited use. But UTA collects more than $6 million from Riverton in sales tax revenue each year.
I want to highlight the discrepancy and just the blatant, I think, inequity that we have here in this part of the valley. I mean, we all pay sales tax as well. That goes to fund UTA services. But we're getting such a small amount.
The closest bus and train stations are about 2 miles away from Riverton, in South Jordan to the north and Draper to the east.
My work offers us free transportation if we take the bus, but if we don't have a bus stop, then I work downtown, so it'd be nice if they had a stop, and especially if we're paying for it through our taxes.
With traffic seemingly getting worse every day, Anthony Heaton thinks Riverton residents would take advantage of public transit.
People that are aware of the environment would use it and hopefully reduce traffic because it's getting busier on 114 and 118.
In a statement, UTA said they examined data such as, quote, ridership trends, residential housing density, daytime population, operational capacity, and customer feedback to determine a strategic and holistic approach to delivering transit choices system-wide.
We are set to double basically in population over the next 20 to 30 years. And if we don't get in front of this and actually have access to reliable transit, then I think our quality of life is just going to diminish.
In Riverton, Jenna Bree, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The local advisory council for UTA will meet November 2nd to discuss transit needs.
Is legal medical cannabis sold in Utah of a substandard quality? That was the topic of a meeting held tonight by the Utah Department of Health and Human Services. It comes after a directive to patients that synthetic cannabis is present in some state-sponsored medical cannabis products, an actual synthetic material, and now the public was allowed to weigh in.
If we could actually know that this was clean organic medicine and to know that it is not synthetic, that it is not dangerous in any way, shape, or form would be huge for me.
Others in the medical cannabis market analysis meeting said the industry is still very new to Utah and hasn't gotten up to speed yet. Most of the growers have yet to use their full 1,000 square feet, but the big concern was quality.
They're priced pretty high, and our understanding is that we are dealing with some products that are actually hot hemp. And so we're concerned about that. We want to, if we're paying top dollar for product, we want to make sure it's good quality product.
Other topics brought up were a better selection of products, including tinctures and concentrates.
In 1999, Liz Shropshire saw news accounts of how music lifted the spirits of residents during the war in Kosovo. She founded what would become Peace Through Music International and has since traveled the world giving music lessons and a glimmer of hope. Sisters Megan and Clara Tandar helped bring the program to Utah. They teach the children to play the harmonica and so much more.
We don't teach them necessarily music theory, but there's a lot more than just teaching music. We believe that music is a way to kind of cope with like life stress, to put your passions into, to put your emotions into. That's what kind of the whole goal of Peace Through Music International is.
With a gift from the Rocky Mountain Power Foundation, Peace Through Music Salt Lake has continued what it started 3 years ago. Once teen volunteers complete 40 hours of training, they begin teaching at the historic Scott School, a community center that provides after-school care.
Looks like those kids are having a blast.
Yeah.
I could think of so many musical soundtracks that I would play right now, you know, as you're driving through the mountains and looking at colors.
Yes, I've got one on repeat. It's a new Taylor Swift album.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, really? Okay.
Midnights. Yeah, it's kind of nice, chill music.
Yeah.
So beautiful
With the
for our
chill in the air.
Our scenic, nice, beautiful views that we have right now. Yes, that chill in the air. And we're going to continue with that chill in the air for obviously, we're headed into November here soon. Cooler weather's here to stay, most likely. We probably have our warmest days behind us. Another storm tomorrow, stronger than it was this morning. We will have some winter driving conditions in the mountains heading into tomorrow and maybe even into Thursday morning. For Salt Lake City, through the night, temperatures low 40s for you. We're going to end up with a chance for some more valley rain and mountain snowfall tomorrow, and then potentially some lake effect could bring some snow down to the valley floors tomorrow night. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, mostly to partly cloudy, 6 to 8 a.m. Temperatures low 40s through much of the first half of the day. And then we're also going to have a chance for some thunderstorms tomorrow, mainly for the Wasatch Mountains and into northeastern Utah, so over towards the Uinta Basin, over towards just east of Green River and into northwestern Colorado. Overnight temps here across Utah, right around 30 to 40 degrees, and we're going to end up with temperatures tomorrow quite cool, but below average by about 10 degrees for this time of year. Wednesday at 4 p.m. we're looking at around 45 to 50 for many of you. For southern and southwestern Utah, mainly in the 50s to mid 60s, 65 down towards Lake Powell and St. George for the second half of tomorrow. 67 will be the high for St. George with mostly sunny sky. By Thursday, 61 degrees, so we're going to see a little bit of a cool down by Thursday. Friday for St. George, 66. This weekend, you're close to 70 degrees with mostly sunny sky. Now, I don't want to bury the lead because obviously Halloween is a big ticket item. People are wondering what the weather is going to be like. For St. George, you're looking sunny and close to 70 for a high, so that means trick-or-treating weather will be probably in the 60s for almost all of you in the St. George area. And for the Wasatch Front, our Wasatch Front forecast is not going to be quite as good for Halloween. It's going to be a little bit cooler than St. George, obviously. Plus, we've got a low chance for some rain come Monday, but there is that chance out there. So I think it's always good to be prepared just in case. Tomorrow, low 50s for a high. Breezy. We'll see wind gusting about 15 to 25 miles per hour for a lot of the state tomorrow. For Thursday, a little bit cooler, 49 degrees. I know a couple of my coworkers have Halloween parades for their kiddos the next couple of mornings at their schools. Look at these temps. Overnight temps near freezing the next few mornings, so very cold weather early in the days. And then only 49 for a high on Thursday. Mostly sunny on Friday, mid-50s. If you're headed to a Halloween party on Saturday afternoon, temperatures in the low 50s for you there. Partly cloudy sky by Sunday, 56. And then by Halloween, 61 in Salt Lake with a chance for some rain. Coming up later in the hour, we'll take a look at your Super 7-day forecast. We'll break down how much snow we can see tomorrow and where we could see some lake effect settling in for Wednesday night.
Okay, here come the snowballs. Thanks so much, Allison. Straight ahead, Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson has released her proposed budget. see what's prioritized and how it could change Salt Lake County's landscape.
And a little bit later, we're going to try and get you into the Halloween spirit a little bit more. We're going to show you what went into making this Harry Potter themed house in Daybreak. Stick with us.
Salt Lake police arrested a wanted parolee, but not until they say he led them on a chase. Bountiful police reported the driver of a gray Suzuki had taken off after a traffic stop at about 10:30 last night. They determined the driver, identified as 37-year-old Jose Guanajuato, is a suspect in several recent crimes involving a gun. Salt Lake police followed the car until it pulled into a parking lot at 3500 Southwest Temple. A citizen pulled their car in behind the suspect, so he couldn't move. Guanajuato was arrested on the parole violation and new charges of failure to stop.
We have now learned a Utah State University Eastern student athlete was killed in a crash on Highway 6 near Soldier Summit on Saturday night. 18-year-old Lauren Bradshaw of Lehigh was a freshman. She played on the school's soccer team. UHP troopers say weather conditions may have been a factor in the crash. They say Bradshaw crossed into the opposite lane and hit a pickup truck head-on.
Normal flight operations at Hill Air Force Base resumed this morning following last week's F-35 crash. They're still trying to figure out why the fighter went down at the north end of the base runway last Wednesday. It was returning from a routine training exercise. The pilot ejected safely and suffered only minor injuries. The base says the investigation could take a few weeks.
There was a massive fire in Pleasant View this morning. Take a look. This was at a horse tack building and corral on Highway 89. The Weber Fire District says propane tanks stored inside the building exploded, causing the fire. A dog was hurt but is expected to survive. All other animals and humans were safely evacuated. Northview Fire District estimates the damage at $600,000.
A Springville High School senior is hit in a crosswalk on her way to school Tuesday morning. We hear from friends and loved ones that she recovers in the hospital.
We need to act now to preserve open spaces.
An $85 million bond on the ballot for parks and open space in Salt Lake City.
We cannot normalize anti-Semitism or any type of hate speech.
How Ye's anti-Semitic comments are impacting the local Jewish community and how Utahns are reacting.
Coming up, a look at how much Utah's public universities are growing, how strange that is compared to the rest of the country, and how deceiving some of the numbers can be.
Utah Jazz with a 3-1 record to start the season. Hear from head coach Will Hardy.
A Springville High School student now in the hospital after police say she was hit by a pickup truck while walking to school this morning.
Fox 13 News reporter Chris Arnold spoke with the victim's close friends today.
She's really funny. She's she's real stubborn too.
It's a bright smile through the sadness for Kate Connors when talking about her close friend. That friend, whose identity isn't being released at this time by family and friends, was taking her usual walking route to Springville High School Tuesday morning. That's when police say she was hit while trying to cross the street here at Canyon Road and 620 South just before 7:45 a.m.
I was actually messaging her this morning at about 5 a.m.
It wasn't until she received a call from the victim's boyfriend, Dylan Hansen, that she found out what happened.
And he said that she had been in an accident and they didn't know how bad it was. Nobody was telling him.
Connor says the Springville High School senior was taken to the hospital in Provo with serious injuries.
She's alive, so it's going to be a long road. She's got more injuries than I can count at this point.
I think every police car in town was here.
Frank Wade has lived right by this intersection for almost his entire life. In that time, he says he's seen his fair share of accidents in the area.
We've had 4 or 5 right here in this intersection, but the traffic goes by here. Sometimes I think they must be going 60 miles an hour. The speed limit is 35.
After an incident like this, Hansen says he hopes this will cause people to pay more attention when traveling down this road.
If there's a message that I could push, it'd be like pay attention and slow down, especially especially in residential areas, because it's a very real problem.
Now those closest to the victim, who they say dreams of being a welding teacher at Springville High School someday, are just hoping she pulls through.
She's definitely a fighter. I have faith she's going to get through this.
She's a fighter. She's fighting real hard out there in the hospital.
Well, I spoke with Springville Police Chief Lance Haight earlier today, and he says that this road is one of the more traveled roads in the town. Now, he says they haven't done a speed study in a while, but he says this incident is prompting them to take a closer look at this area. In Springville, Chris Arnold, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The Nebo School District also sent a statement today saying they are saddened by the tragic news. They say they have a crisis team available at the school to assist any students or faculty members.
Well, the demolition of the Salt Lake City Sears has begun. Remember the old Sears department store on State Street?
Yep.
There it is now. The vacant building, right on the corner of 800 South and State Street, to be exact, was purchased by Utah's largest healthcare provider. That's Intermountain Healthcare. It was bought back in December of 2021. The store closed on January of 2018. Hospital officials have yet to provide details for what they have in the works to replace the building.
The Department of Alcoholic Beverage Services continues to turn a profit even as bar licenses are in short supply. State-run liquor sales are up nearly $3 million over the same time period last year. But the DABS doesn't have enough bar licenses. Today they awarded one to Verse in downtown Salt Lake City. That leaves 10 other businesses waiting. The legislature says a quota of one bar license per 10,200 people. Governor Cox has called for lawmakers to make more licenses available.
Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson unveiled her spending priorities today. She proposed a nearly $2 billion budget that she says is reacting to inflation. The mayor is proposing no new hires and no new ongoing programs, but Mayor Wilson does have some one-time spending requests. They include $2 million to support the Tiny Home Village, designed to get people out of homelessness, money for increased trails and bike lanes in the county, money for an LGBTQ health center, and a new animal shelter. There is a whopping $85 million on projects the county has put off, including repairs to the jail, recreation centers, and the sewage canal, plus $5 million to buy open space within the county.
Vacant land is being developed, as you know, by the minute, and we need to act now to preserve open spaces and those very spaces that make Salt Lake County a very unique and special place to live.
Now, keep in mind, the mayor proposes a budget, but the county council passes one. They'll review the spending priorities in the coming weeks and months.
When Salt Lake City voters go to the polls next month, they'll have to decide on whether to approve a big bond for open space and major new park.
Fox 13 News political reporter Ben Winslow shows us what's at stake.
This bond is the single largest investment we would be making in our parks, trails, and open space in a generation.
The bond would create some new parks in the city, including converting the old Raging Waters site in the Glendale neighborhood into a park on the scale of Liberty and Sugar House parks.
The first time in over 60 years we would be adding a regional park. You know, we have Sugar House, we have Liberty Park, and there's nothing on the west side of Salt Lake City.
The bond also calls for some new parks across the city and improvements to existing ones and the completion of the Folsom Trail. It would also cover tree plantings along the Jordan River and more recreation opportunities there.
For the average median home value in Salt Lake City, it would be about $54 a year. It equates to just less than $5 a month.
No one submitted an argument against the bond in the official voter guide, but groups like the Utah Taxpayers Association worry about the overall tax burden to Salt Lake City residents.
It sounds great, right? Parks, everybody loves park. You know, let's pay. It's probably a nominal amount on their tax bill, but our point is that okay, it's a small amount added to what's already a very big tax bill relative to everyone else in the state.
For Salt Lake City, we haven't done one since 2014, and it was in the need to accommodate our growing population here in the city.
The west side has been a pocket in the sense that we get overlooked sometimes, and people sometimes don't know we're on the map.
The bond has the support of Glendale residents like Aaron Cardenas Paredes.
We need a place to, have recreation, sports. There's always tennis going on, but I'm pretty sure we can do more here.
Now, ballots have already started hitting mailboxes. Election Day is November 8th. In Salt Lake City, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, coming up, backlash is growing over anti-Semitic comments made by Ye, the rapper formerly known as Kanye West. I guess he goes by Ye. What Utah's Jewish community is saying about those comments. Well, just into the Fox 13 newsroom, an officer at the Utah State Correctional Facility in Salt Lake City has been assaulted. The Department of Corrections tells Fox 13 News that staff saw the assault and immediately initiated incident management procedures. Other incarcerated individuals and staff were able to restrain the suspect. A weapon was recovered, but there is no indication that it was used. The officer is now in the hospital and is expected, thankfully, to make a full recovery.
Adidas has announced it is ending its collaboration with Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, after the artist made anti-Semitic comments on Twitter and other media outlets.
Fox 13 News reporter Darian DeBrule got reaction from Utah's Jewish community.
Yet another reminder about the divisive society that we live in.
I spoke with Rabbi Benny Zippel and Rabbi Sam Spector, who say the Jewish community are not strangers to anti-Semitic comments, but Ye's comments have presented a larger challenge due to his influence.
When somebody is a leader, whether it is a political leader, a religious leader, or a media and performing icon like Kanye West is, you have to think very carefully about the power of your words.
Following Ye's anti-Semitic comments, many brands and individuals have decided to end their partnerships with Ye, including the company behind his brand Yeezy, Adidas. The brand said in part, Adidas does not tolerate anti-Semitism and any other sort of hate speech. Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous.
I think it sends a bigger message to to his following that there are consequences.
It's difficult for us to continue to support any artist or leader who uses their platform to promote hatred and bigotry. It makes it impossible to separate the man from the art.
The Jewish community is grateful for the outpour of support on social media.
It feels very encouraging. It feels very reassuring that people out there actually appreciate us.
Bittner also sees Ye's comments as part of a much larger issue.
I think he personifies the more ongoing, ridiculous extremism in the world.
We cannot normalize anti-Semitism or any type of hate speech, and whether we're part of a community or not, we should be fully condemning any type of hate speech.
The Jewish community hopes people will continue to speak out against anti-Semitic comments and stop supporting those who make them. In Salt Lake City, I'm Darian DeBrule, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Still ahead, Utah's public universities are seeing enrollment growth despite a downturn in enrollment nationwide. We'll break down the numbers.
I'm Andrea Urban, and the Utes are coming off of a bye week as they look to stay in the win column against Washington State this Thursday. Hear from the players on how they can't flinch coming up. Plus, the Utah Jazz are shocking the NBA and, dare I say it, the world. Hear from head coach Will Hardy next in sports.
It was a very special day for 35 military mothers-to-be in Utah. Operation Shower makes sure expectant mothers whose husbands are deployed know they are not alone. They throw baby showers across the country, like this one in Layton today. They all got showers in a box that are loaded with high-quality gifts for mothers and babies.
Well, Utah's system of higher education is bucking national trends.
Fox 13 News anchor Max Roth has an in-depth look tonight at which schools are growing fast and which are not.
All of Utah's four-year public universities showed growth this fall, and that's not the case in most of the country. Nationally, four-year public schools are losing enrollment, 1.6% in the last year alone. Private schools doing a little better to bring the overall decrease to 1.1%. In Utah, Weber State and the University of Utah inched up less than 1%, with Utah State filling seats at a near 2% clip. Draw a line at Point of the Mountain, and the four-year schools south of it are really booming. Utah's two-year colleges, though, both saw bigger decreases in enrollment than the national average. But these numbers can be deceptive because they're a simple head count. 3 weeks into fall semester, they count every student attending, adding up to 195,000 students all told in Utah. But there's another number that shows how many classes those students are taking. It's called full-time equivalent, or FTE. 2 half-time students are 1 FTE. Utah Valley University has about 8,500 more students by head count than the University of Utah. But the University of Utah has 5,000 more full-time equivalent students than does Utah Valley. When you look at FTEs, Snow College has not been losing students. Now, they may have a smaller number of students enrolled year to year, but last year, Snow showed strong growth in FTEs, meaning the students who are there are taking more classes. In studio, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, we've been spotlighting some impressive Halloween displays at Utah houses this year.
I love to see all of these decorations, and here is another one, just so impressive. Do you ever wonder how long it takes for people to set up their decor, or to just even think of their theme, their idea?
Well, I tell you what, it seems that the decorations just proliferate year after year after year. They just,
so you
keep
start,
doing
and then
more
you got
and
to beat out what you did the previous year, and then
right.
it's a big snowball.
That's
This house in particular is in Daybreak. That's in South Jordan, of course. You probably picked up. It's a Harry Potter theme. Jeffrey and Katie Nelson tell us they and their children are big Harry Potter fans and love bringing the details of the books to life. The house, of course, as you can imagine, has drawn a lot of visitors so far. Utah business Kenzie's Events helped the Nelsons turn their vision into reality. It's a good one, Allison.
Oh, yeah. Love that one. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I love to see that. And over the next couple of days, we're going to have more of a winter look here across the state as opposed to a Halloween look. Although it is Utah, we're used to this, right? Doing trick-or-treating in the snow sometimes. Wednesday through Thursday is our next storm. Lake effect snow is possible tomorrow night for the northern mountains, mainly 4 to 8 inches of snow. And for the northern valleys, we're looking at mostly 0 to 1 inches unless that lake effect does kick in. Our best chances for that right now looks to be Tooele or Salt Lake counties, but where exactly that will settle in remains to be unseen. Depends on that wind direction. As a front moves through, we're going to see temperatures even cooler on Thursday, so we're going to have some cool temperatures in the forecast the next couple of days. Temperatures by tomorrow at 5 p.m. were mid-40s to about 50 degrees for a high. We're going to see that snow starting to get going in the morning for the mountains across northern Utah, but that will start to pick up midday. Could even see some thunderstorms in northeast Utah tomorrow. That does include the Wasatch Front. For St. George, you have a very dry 7-day forecast. Halloween looks really good for you. Happy about that for the St. George area. For Ogden, your chance of precipitation over the next couple of days will be likely for tomorrow, Wednesday night, scattered, drier after that for this weekend, and then by Halloween, isolated storms are possible. So it's not that good of a chance, but there's certainly a pretty low chance. For Utah County, tomorrow, widespread precipitation, mainly in the form of valley rain, mountain snowfall. Wednesday night, widely scattered. And for St. George, 67 tomorrow, 61 on Thursday. So that's our next cool down. 66 on Friday. Temperatures through this weekend close to 70 for St. George, 71 degrees on Halloween. So looking really good by next week. For the Wasatch Front, tomorrow 52. Air quality will be good the next couple of days. Thursday morning, we could see some lingering snow, partly cloudy sky, temperatures right around freezing the next couple of nights. So we could see that chance for some snow mixing into the valleys, and then we could see maybe a little bit of an icy start for Thursday morning. And then into this upcoming weekend, our main weather headlines here across the state the next couple of days will continue to be the cold temperatures, winter driving mainly up in the mountains, but that chance for some lake effect snow tomorrow night. And then we'll have mild temperatures this weekend, pretty close to average, but still a little bit below average. And then we head into Halloween. We do have a chance for some rain here in Salt Lake on Monday. And as we break down that chance of precip tomorrow, widespread, Wednesday night scattered, by Halloween, isolated storm chances for Salt Lake.
The brand new Utah Jazz are just one of 4 teams in the entire NBA with a 3-1 record. The other 3 are the Spurs, Grizzlies, and Celtics, and they've had nowhere near the offseason that Utah has. Last night, the Jazz were handed their first loss of the season from the Rockets, who they'll play again at home this Wednesday.
We played flat in the first half. We responded well in the second half. We tried to execute our game plan a little bit better in the second half, and I think we did that. Our physicality on the offensive end picked up, but defensively we need to do a better job. But I told them it's been a great road trip and stick together. We had a lot of guys contribute in tonight's game, and we're learning a lot about our team as we go.
Utah football is still riding the high from their victory over USC, carrying that into a short bye week where recovery and rest was the key. And they head to Pullman to face Washington State on Thursday, a team that didn't make it easy on them last year.
Washington State's always been the team that gives us a good fight. They went toe-to-toe with Oregon. They almost won that game, so we can't overlook these guys just for the simple fact that they haven't won a conference game. We let that get to our heads, and that's when we're going to get punched in the mouth, and those kind of things get caught off guard. So we approach every game like it's a championship game, or we approach every game like how we did against USC, understanding that every game is monumental, especially towards our goal of trying to make it to the Pac-12 championship. This is going to be a great game, in my opinion.
Last season, the Utah Grizzlies won the Mountain Division title for the first time in club history, falling short in the Western Conference Finals. Utah with 19 returning players from last season's team. Today at the Maverick Center, it was media day. I caught up with head coach Ryan Kanasowicz and the players to talk about the season ahead.
That run last year, I think, gave, you talk about the returners, a lot of experience, right? So we have 17, 18 guys returning that were on that team last year, so it's only going to bode well for us moving forward. At the end of the day, we didn't meet our end goal, so let's see what we have this year.
Getting that run in the playoff was awesome. The fans, the organizations made everyone, including myself, feel welcome, so I think that speaks volumes to who and what the Utah Grizzlies are.
Salt Lake's Sky Monch is one of the top-rated triathletes in the world, ranked 9th overall. She's had many roadblocks along the way, but continues to represent Utah on the Ironman World Championship stage. Her full story this Sunday night on Fox 13.
I'm really proud of being from Utah. It's a beautiful state. It's fun to have people come here and race. And in southern Utah, the Red Rocks, people just are in awe over how beautiful it is down there. The sport is evolving, and I'm part of it right now, and I want to keep being a part of it. The biggest why for me is just this possibility of what I can accomplish and what I can become as an athlete. I hope at the very least, though, that I can inspire other people to chase their dreams and do things that feel impossible. Don't let anyone stop you.
Love that conversation. That'll do it for sports. We'll be right back.
Thanks for being part of Fox 13 News at 9.
Hope you can stick around because QuickCast is up right after the break.